Spiral, 2 Jews, 2 mics, 2 hours, starting now.
You know what I do? I never pick up on the first ring when you call. You know why?
Because of 1950s superstition?
I just don't want to think that you think I'm too hungry for the podcast.
Uh-huh.
I want you to think, even though I've texted you, that I'm still doing housework. Oh, the podcast today. Oh, okay. Now what my game is?
Hard to say.
Hard to say.
It must be a long game.
Well, here's my...
Because it's not working out in the short term.
Well, I'll tell you what I think the long... I was just thinking about this minutes ago.
Speaking of long, nice sleeves.
Yeah, but you know why they're like that, right?
Yeah.
They cover my horrible arms.
I know. That's why I'm saying. Smart move.
You want to see the thing? You want to see the injury site?
No, I was terribly happy to see long sleeves was my point.
Well, the reason is because I sleep in a long sleeve thing. This thing is now going to have to be
I didn't
washed.
need a story. I just needed to say.
I realize this is I copped.
Oh,
I copped.
Foster Brooks, ladies and gentlemen.
I cop to my side of the problems in this relationship.
Yeah.
You are like, he's the problem. That's what your therapist told me. He's the problem. Stupid man. Stupid. Well, I guess you didn't say that.
All right.
But 10 minutes.
I wasn't even saying there was a problem in the relationship, frankly.
That's true.
That's your game.
That's my department.
Yeah.
So 10 minutes to 9, I said to myself, Monday, I'm kind of depressed about, got that horrible president. Let me take an attitude into the show.
Yeah.
So I think there is that if you're unconsciously bothered, it could come out consciously. Now that's saying a lot about me because I'm a wonderful person.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I'm not someone who is.
But
petty.
I think a lot of people, if they're unconsciously bothered, it comes out. That's how we get phrases like, "Is something wrong?"
But I might tell myself, no. But here's worse than that. I might tell myself, okay. It's not his fault. Let's just have a good show. And that doesn't work either.
Yeah. When it's just, you can tell it's getting to be a bad marriage when you just refer to me as he. I always notice that with my friends in their marriages. I'll talk to her. She says I can't go. Never the name.
That's so terrible. Never the name. I'll ask her. Is Susan okay? I'll ask her. Okay, well, that wasn't a good example.
No.
Good morning, Josh. Now, this is a real good morning.
Really?
I'm trying from my heart to you, baby.
Yeah.
How are you?
It got in. I'm fine. I'm actually not fine. I'm feeling dark and shaky as well.
Oh, so, yes. Okay, now we're not the same. Don't start with the picking things off of the mic. We're not the same person, but we do have similar worlds.
We have eyes.
We have two good eyes, but still can't see. Driving that train high on cocaine. All right, look. Yes, I was worried about the world in a very kind of is oblique. Like it does not. It's like shallow, or does oblique mean it's sharp? What does oblique mean? In a very oblique way, like you can't tell it's coming in. There are words I will not look
I don't know
Josh.
what you're going for is my problem.
I know that there are words. I keep looking. There was another one that came up yesterday. I had no idea what it was.
Yet you insisted on using it.
Yes. I said to Susan, I said, I'm dyspeptic today. I'm dyspeptic.
Yeah.
She said, what is that? I said, I've never looked it up. I always think of it as like stomach problems or like you're slightly stomach acid, you're irritated. Is that anything to do with it?
That is true, I think, yes. I believe it is. It has to do with off digestion.
Oh, okay. And it's not to do with the fact that it sounds like Pepsid or something like that. It has
Well,
nothing to do with the way...
Pepsi, I believe Pepsi was leaning into that with its initial name.
Oh, it was dyspeptic?
Yeah, I think it was meant to be medicinal in that way.
Oh, my... How did you learn? How did you wake up?
I could be making it up. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure.
You wake up in the morning, all of a sudden you're a soft drink expert, which really isn't that hard to be a soft drink expert, unless you're going for vintage ones.
I watched the sparkling beverages that changed America on History Channel.
You must be so fucking bored. Was it good?
I was kidding. It doesn't exist.
I was ready to put it in my queue. That's what I was ready to do. Oh,
are you exhausted
right?
now? Are you dyspeptic still?
No.
Can I get you a bromo?
Now that is from an actual
A Briofsky,
movie.
Perhaps?
No, a bromo. Would you like a bromo? Can I get you a bromo seltzer? Is from the Tin Man.
Well, it's from
When he
life. It's
tells
from life as well. It's from life
I know, but
as
he
well.
tells the husband, he tells the wife that Richard Drivers is cheating on her or whatever the thing he's telling her. Would you like a bromo? Are you okay? You want a bromo seltzer? A great movie that I haven't seen in a while. You've seen it, right?
I've seen it many times, and
it holds up
a great deal. I like it. Yes.
What's that?
I like it a great deal. I haven't seen it in many years, but I have no doubt that it holds up, frankly.
Okay, I'm gonna have a little quiz with you now. At the end of the movie, these guys are aluminum siding salesmen, and they're in trouble with the state.
Uh-huh.
And they go in front of a commission. The guy goes, what am I doing wrong? To me, you go in and you buy a bad suit, and the guy says you look great. That's a crime. I'm getting people things that they need. Uh-huh. They need this on their house. So at the end of the movie, when the commission comes in, what is the next big thing that the guy sees down the street that he's going to sell?
The Volkswagen.
Damn it. Why did I think that was obscure? This is why I don't host trivia parties or have trivia parties. The thing is this. I'm a little bit back in the mode I was in 4 years ago, 8 years ago, 16 years ago, where I was like, at first the problem with the first Trump administration was I really did think he was going to go. Like, of course, like he called people, other countries, like, give me $20 right now, or I'll fucking drop a bomb on your city, right? So I thought he was going to leave. I really naively or stupidly thought this guy. So now I don't think that anymore, and yet every day I think it's close. For example, I get texts every day.
What is close? Are we talking nuclear war? What are we talking? Like, what is close?
I get a text every day from the people I haven't stopped to end. We're close to flipping the house. We are this close to flipping the house. If a moron like you would give us $20 more, and the other one, remember the one they had to go, the No King Amendment.
Uh-huh.
Chuck Schumer, who I'm not a big fan of, he's sending out. He's going to do the No King rule.
All right.
None of those things happened. So
no,
we don't even know because we hate it so much. We hate the topic so much. And the other thing is, I think people listen to this show as an oasis in the desert of oases. This is a show where they wake up Monday morning.
Sand in a desert of oases? Is that what you're saying?
Right. Well, yeah, I got that from the days of our lives. But the thing is, they wake up and they go, God damn it, Trump's still in there. Or, worse than that, they wake up and go, Trump isn't doing horrible things enough. I listen to the thought spiral. That I don't think, unless it's Delicious Mick. I don't think there's anybody. I don't think there's a lot of people evilly listening to the show.
I think people wake up and go, I'm tired of whining. Let's have them do it.
That's true. But you see, that's the thing. You would think that they would listen to this and go, why do I want to hear the one Jew who can't stop thinking about himself? And then the other Jew who just spends the whole time.
Wouldn't it be horrible if people were just constantly referring us to as one Jew and the other Jew, despite the fact a little theme song?
Right. Despite the fact that there's so much more to us than the fact that we're Jewish, but it doesn't come through on the podcast.
Like we're barely Jewish, for example.
Well, yeah, we are barely Jewish as people.
Like it really
we don't walk around and going
very little of our actual consciousness.
Yes, we don't use Yiddish.
I'm a Jew. I'm a Jew. Jew.
As you remember, I said one day I was walking around the house in the old apartment on Armorcost, and I said, I'm a Jew. I was doing Don Rickles. I'm a Jew. You're a Jew, Larry. Larry, you're a Jew. And I said it out the window loud. Nobody heard me, but I'm a Jew. Came out loud.
But I do have to say, I'm reading this big book on the history of Jerusalem. And so far, I'm rooting for the Jews in every fight. The Assyrians, the Babylonians, the
Don't
Greeks.
say Assyrians, because Susan's has Assyrian blood.
So you're censoring my use of the word? No, they're fucking
not bad people.
Oh,
they
yeah, no, that's
people.
great. They're great the way they destroyed our temple. It's fantastic.
Well, maybe they had a better idea for a temple. Okay, so is this real things you're reading? Or is this a Bible?
The joke history of Jerusalem? Anything?
So you're saying, okay, I want to just get it straight. You're not saying that you have no sympathy for Palestinians. That's not where you're going with this whole thing.
No, it's not. In fact, the book is incredibly
anti-Jewish,
apolitical.
Right.
But it doesn't matter because I'm on Alexander the Great right now. So it's not like we've gotten to the Palestinian conflict.
Did you ever? You were reading like a lightweight biography that I don't know if you ever finished. You kept talking about it.
Like you say it like
a couple of weeks ago.
I'm just a boring old asshole. Is what
you No, but
writing some lightweight biography. It was Randy Newman. Randy Newman was what I read last.
Randy Newman. Was it Randy Newman?
God, yes.
Biography.
What? Yes.
Josh, my doctor says
Don't treat me like I'm trying to fool you. The ball's in your court on this.
My doctor says I have audio disassociation problems.
Mm-hmm.
I disassociate
from other people
from
talking.
What you're saying.
Yes.
Well, this is no good because you're going to beat me to the joke. If you're going to beat me to the joke every time, I'm sick of that.
Stop going around the block with it, and I'll.
Yeah. Why don't you? Hey, Andy.
I'm going to cut through the yards.
Andy, why don't you get a whole new series of annoying behaviors? You've done the stupid guy
would be
for
nice.
so long.
A little turnover would be nice.
I've been the stupid guy for so long. Doesn't seem like I'm acting. Doesn't seem like. Hi. Welcome to the Beatles convention. We have millions of people.
He makes people call him the stupid guy off camera now, just so he stays in character.
Welcome. I am George Martin's son. Welcome to the world's largest Beatles convention in Las Vegas. Before we start, any questions? Yes, I always wondered, Andy Kindler, did they how did they come up with that name, the Beatles? I thought it was based on the beat. Beat. Is it true, George Martin Jr.? I don't think George Martin's son is named George Martin.
He's not. I think he's Niles or something.
I think that isn't somebody in Spinal Tap Niles, one of those guys?
Yeah. Well, Nigel. No, it's Nigel.
It's Nigel. Before I met a lot of English people, I only thought mostly Americans like Spinal Tap were English people. I don't know what my point is there.
I only thought Americans were English people?
It doesn't hold up.
I did not walk away with that.
I did think until I was an adult was that until I started to meet some British people, I thought British people were more urbane. I used to do this joke about when I would go to England and you see the TV shows and there would be something urbane and witty. And then you go to a station and it's like, I'm wearing a big old ad on me head. So it would be like just Benny Hill or an interesting discussion.
Nothing in between.
Nothing in between. Black and white man says. But then I started to hear about colonialism, which I had not been taught about.
Yeah.
No, but just like a little kid, I loved A Christmas Carol. I loved the British accent. And so I assumed that they were more, and I thought the BBC was better than our, and there's maybe an argument BBC might be better, but it's
BBC
not.
BBC is better than anything we got going right now.
Right, but it doesn't mean that they're not, still have a lot of smell of colonialism in everything they do. Oh, good morning. Not everything that everyone does, but there's still a lot of guys over there like
even just using good morning as an example, that seems a little harsh.
No, who's the guy I can't stand who's the, he's a scientist, Dawkins. To me, Richard Dawkins is the epitome.
You feel like he's hiding behind his accent?
No, it's not. No, he loves, he goes, when I was a child, we had servants who helped us. They were lovely people. I mean, he really does have that thing.
Yeah.
If you go to the bottom, why does he hate Islam? Because they're not British people like him. That's what I'm saying. Is that
but I also think you have to. I don't know if you can separate it or not, but the classist society of England is a stronger legacy almost than colonialism. I think in terms of British people themselves.
Right. You mean doing it to themselves? Like you're poor or like that they used to do with poor people in general, put them in prison.
Yeah, I just mean people's lives were determined by the class they were born into generally.
Yeah. As much as India, which I know nothing about?
No, not quite as much.
Did India, at some point...
But similar in many ways.
But I since I'm ignorant, so for years, the people in India go, "This is great." Yeah, but I'm untouchable. It's good. It's just a category, or it is a type of thing. It always worked with rulers. And,
well, no, it's religion based.
Oh, it is religion based.
Yeah.
Okay, now you sound like Richard Dawkins. Hinduism and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, the caste part is Hinduism.
Oh, I didn't even know. It's cast with an E, stupid.
Because it's your predestined. It's what you've come back as, essentially. It's part of your journey.
Hard to argue with it when they go, you came back, you're reincarnated as the poorest person in this town.
Right.
Really? Yes.
Great job as a touchable.
But I thought, By the way,
I could be wrong about all this, so, I'm just leave it open for that.
I will leave it open. But along with thinking that evil was behind it. I thought evil was behind us when I was born, specifically 11 years behind us, unless you thought Hitler escaped. I was like, woo! I came out of the womb. Whoa.
Just in time. Thank God I missed evil.
I said, what year is it? Is it 44? No, 56. I'm like, woo! Now, let me get into that was a tough womb material. Okay, so look. I thought we dodged a bullet because World War II movies, we looked great in World War II movies. It looked like we were there to save the world.
Yeah.
And I think there's parts of our country that are like that do believe in freedom and do believe in this. But there's a lot of people who are just, I'll take your house if you leave 10 minutes ago. Or you're from Mexico. Yeah, get out of my house.
Well, there's a reason
you live in Los Angeles.
There's a reason they call it the greatest generation. It's because we peaked.
Yeah, but Andy Rooney always hated that. Maybe he goes, I don't like that with the greatest generation. Maybe he was referring to himself.
I think it was self-hatred. Yes.
Well, it was also a war that you couldn't really argue against. And you could be a pacifist, but you really couldn't argue that you had to go after Hitler.
All right. Well, many did nonetheless, but
many did, or like Joseph Kennedy Sr. He wanted to. Was that his name?
Yes.
He wasn't senior.
Yeah, he was once he had a junior.
Because one of his sons died in the war. One of his sons died in, I think, World War II, and was a very brave guy, supposedly. And they say I'm reading in this thing. They say JFK was also pretty brave. Although my father went, well, he was on that boat. My father, I don't know what it was with Kennedy. He was jealous of him or something. Yeah, PT 109. I'm sure he was pulling bodies out of the ocean. But it turns out he maybe was helping.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's a lot of dispute about that book.
Well, how about Chappaquiddick? I say they're driving over the thing. She gets upset. She hops out of the car. He tries to go after her into the water with the car. What a funny story. Mary Jo Kopechne. It's not as horrible as it would have been if I made the joke in 1960s, whenever it was.
Yeah.
Whenever it was. Yeah, 1968. Man, Chappaquiddick. Oh, Mary Jo. Oh, my God. But you can see how we as a country could do nothing. We can do nothing because we are all, on a certain level, we're two things. On a certain level, we have a lot of evil in us, and then we're also extremely judgmental, like me. It's a judgmental country.
That's all we got going? We're evil and judgmental? No,
we got a couple of things. We have pickleball.
Sure,
pickleball.
Okay.
Have you played?
Have I played pickleball? Are you asking me that for real?
For real?
No.
But you would be someone who played pickleball.
Why would I be someone who played?
Absolutely not. Absolutely. And I heard the pickleball is loud. If you're
I played racquetball. I played tennis.
I know. I'm so jealous. Why am I jealous? I wasn't good at it. No, because I couldn't play. I played racquetball a couple of times, and they go, "This is great," and I'm standing there, and the fucking ball is hitting me in the head. There's no way that that's a real sport. Oh no, let it go off that wall. I can't even.
You weren't even standing there writing material.
It was hard for me in many ways to realize that I did not have athletic ability in certain areas. It's like I wasn't pretending that my ankles would collapse on the ice. They just collapsed on the ice.
Right.
And do you have better ankles like that?
No, skating was one of my my Achilles ankles.
And didn't it make you depressed too?
Yeah, not really. I moved on.
Because you knew your life was not in ice skating.
Yeah.
And I never roller skated.
It got a little better when I got rollerblades later on, but I still was not strong in the ankles.
Wait a second. There is a, what's it called when you're bragging? It's a reverse brag or whatever.
How is that a reverse? How is that a humble brag?
Nobody can do those blades. There's very few people. I mean, I know millions of people
millions
did it,
of people
but they're
did
not
it.
easy. They're hard.
Okay, well then.
What do they call it again?
I'm a fantastic athlete then. Rollerblades.
And then, so why aren't you still? Why do I not? There's a guy who goes around our neighborhood who's a rollerblader. He's the only guy.
Yeah, it was rollerblades. Well, rollerblades were created in Minnesota.
Why do you make up stuff just to annoy me?
Because it's such a hockey town, and so it was meant. It was meant as a hockey training sort of thing.
And then, did you? Isn't it
the
fun
reason
to be
I
on
had
them?
them is because I did a show for their company, and they gave me a pair.
And who taught you how to do it?
No one. I put them on. I went, stay standing, roll forward.
There's one blade on each side.
Well, there's a row of wheels.
Oh, that's not what I'm thinking of as rollerblading.
Well, that's what rollerblades are. There is a single file, like similar to a hockey skate. There are a bunch of wheels in a row.
Oh, okay, but there's still only one wheel, right?
No,
there's
like
wheel.
4 or 5 wheels.
No, but there's only one row. It's not like 2 rows like a roller skate where there's 2 rows.
Correct.
2 rows of roller skates. It's not like roller skating. Because roller skates I can stand on for a second.
I would hope so.
I also liked, what's the thing where you jump on and it's like a board?
A skateboard?
Yeah, I like skateboards for a couple of minutes.
What's the thing with the skates and the board?
Well, I liked anything like where you could go, like we had Suicide Hill, which I thought was the only suicide hill in the world, but it was many suicide hills. And I would love, I'm sledding, it's fun. I like all of the Space Mountain. Ooh. And that's as far as it goes. As far as anything goes.
Sledding in Space Mountain? Is what we're doing?
Because sledding is easy.
Right.
And unless you're
you're describing things that require no skill whatsoever, so yes.
No skill whatsoever, unless you think turning is a skill.
I don't think you can. I don't think you're turning when you're on the sled.
Oh, I think you just turn. Well, when you lean your body one way. Now, I was very good at the luge for a couple of years. I was surprised.
I can see
Did you know that?
I did.
You did not know that.
Just because you're bronze medals.
And my father said, "Where's the rest of the medals?" He said as he fell down the stairs trying to fix something plumbing oriented. So, okay. Well, then you didn't have. Well, then you're talking as someone who's not like me. You're talking to someone who's tall.
No, I had a whole different. I mean,
size.
my whole thing was about being fat as a kid.
Okay. So you did have the same, and not the same, but other problems.
It was, but my sort of overall story was really, I think, more about positively surprising people with my skill, despite the fact that they picked me last.
Oh, I see. That's great.
Because
That's
I was a particularly coordinated fat kid.
You were Jackie Gleason. So was Jackie Gleason.
Yeah, there you go. I was Jackie Gleason.
Why? And, I claim to be so forward-thinking.
Or John Daly.
John Daly. Don't say John Daly because he's such a terrible person. But Tiger Woods said...
You think Jackie Gleason was a party?
He wasn't like John Daly, though. No. He was a nasty guy, but he wasn't. John Daly... Tiger Woods has said that if he could drive like John Daly would drive, he wouldn't practice either. Right. So that is amazing that you have these people. But ultimately, probably discipline plus skill goes the furthest.
Well, in the case of John Daly, we saw it's a pretty good example of how
he's still there, but not really. I mean, yeah, okay.
He's not on the tour, but he's still some kind of figure in the golf world. With a giant ZZ Top beard now. Last time
he won I think he won a major, right?
He did, yeah.
How is that possible? Okay.
Good days. A few days.
Great weekend. I know you hate sports updates, but a great weekend because Madison Keys won the... Oh, spoiler alert. Who would be taping it now? She won the Australian Open over Sabalenka. Uh-huh. And this is to me a really great sports story because she had been to the finals once before in 2017 or so. It's been 10 years. So it's like normally in tennis, it would be over. In the old days, it was over when you were 23, for a woman especially, 22, 23, 24. Now she has won at
Except
29.
for Martina Navratilova at 49 winning a tournament.
No, I know. Don't. I'm talking. No, you're right. You're right. But Martina, you're right. But at that time, well, first of all, there's nobody in their late 30s in tennis who's winning big championships.
No.
I mean, once. Jimmy Connors, and you see him shooting everybody like that. He came back at the U.S. Open, and people liked him for a week.
I remember watching it in my apartment in Minneapolis.
And what's his name? Djokovic is 38. I mean, but he's there is a possibility that there's some super people.
Yes.
But generally, it was an early, like it was a sport that you wouldn't.
Also,
the
they tend to be terribly unhappy and want to get out of it by the time they do.
So check this out. Madison Keys just got married right before the Australian Open.
Yeah.
Her husband is her coach.
Yeah.
Her husband turned around her whole style of play. And she said this the other day. She goes, after they won, she said, well, what do you think? She goes, once I gave up the thinking I would only be valid if I won a major, I was able to win a major, which does make complete sense if you think about it.
Sure.
If you stop, but you would think, okay, I could think that way, but I'm still 29. This person, and it's not like she won by a fluke. She was unbelievably great. So it was just very, 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 what's it called? Inspirational.
Yeah.
It makes me want to go back out and try to walk.
You want to go find the correct mate.
Oh. Susan. Hi. I saw the worst thing on Saturday Night Live. Not the show, but the worst thing. Okay,
right.
and you have to explain this to me.
Uh-huh.
And I think it's Andrew Dismukes. It could have been somebody. And he came out one time. He did a baldy guy that was very funny, and the character he did was funny. It was his father as a puppet.
Uh-huh.
Like, here's my puppet, and his father says, "You're good, son.
Yeah.
You're good." But how did they ruin it? I'll give you a clue. Every time they went to the puppet, what did they do? Almost every time. Just a single on the puppet.
Yeah.
What is the point of a single on the puppet? And first of all, he's moving his lips. Don't you want to still show that a little bit? Don't you want to see his reaction to his son or his father or whatever? It was very weird. Not weird enough to bring up 3 days later, I understand.
Right. Well, I mean, the writer chose that shot.
Are you sure?
Yes.
You don't think the director messed up? Whatever you do,
I
don't.
mean, I really, in fact, I just watched a doc about SNL and their process, and the writers choose the shots.
Okay, let me say this.
But I disagree with you. Once you establish that he's not doing good ventriloquism, keeping it in a 2-shot like that is probably going to end up being more distracting than the actual joke you're trying to play.
But why a single on it? Why a single? Why don't you go? You go to the puppet, you go to both of them, you show Colin Jost, but just a single, it's like the Jeff Dunham when he has had his pilot, and the puppet's talking to him from a bathroom stall.
Right.
It loses the flavor. It's a very small comment. It doesn't make any sense. You know what looked bad was that movie about Saturday Night Live, and I forgot who directed it. Someone I think liked.
Jason Reitman directed it.
Yeah, I like Jason Reitman, but that movie looks. Maybe it just looks really like it's going to be terrible.
It absolutely looks terrible to me.
You're just recreating, and it's like I'm going to watch not Gilda Radner for 2 hours. I'm going to watch not John Belushi for 2 hours.
Right.
It was a very weird, but you know what? I actually met him because I'm a big star. He's a very sweet man, and he did that movie. Was Up in the Air? Was that his movie? I don't know. With George, I don't know. The point is this. It was a misfire. It's like I can. Maybe if he was older,
what was a misfire?
The Saturday Night Live.
Did you watch it?
No, but I will. I will if you want me to. If
you're going to call it a misfire, then I feel like
this stuff.
I can say it doesn't look good, but you to actually call it a misfire, I think.
If I told you Carrot Top has a new album and it looks bad, you go, do you know that it's bad?
No, I would agree with it. It looks bad. If you said it is bad, then I would go, then you should listen.
There's absolutely a point to what you're making, and absolutely the things that they use to. Okay, here's a scene. All right, I think we can get this skit. First of all, Lorne Michaels looks like a positive character, so I'm not going to go see that movie. right? And so he's sitting there going, what's the next skit? And he goes, sketch. What the fuck are you talking about? They were so, all the people who worked there were used to Saturday Night Football, and then they didn't even know what I meant by skit. I mean, it's just bad. It's just bad.
It is.
It is what it is.
Well, no, it's exactly the kind of movie I really despise. You know?
Now, tell me about the documentary.
It was. I mean, they did it's on Peacock, and there's like a series of like 4-hour-ish documentaries relating to Saturday.
Well, that sounds like something I want to watch, right?
If you want to get a sense of what's, what it feels like there, there's one about following the writers through a week. There's one about the weird year in '86
when he left.
When he came back.
Right, yeah.
With, brought in like Robert Downey Jr. in that year.
Wow.
Anthony Michael Hall.
That was not a great time period, Anthony Michael Hall, right?
No, it's called The Weird Year. That's the name of it. And then there's one, I don't remember what they all were. But I think there's one that's about the cowbell sketch. It's just the whole thing is about
which is one of the funniest sketches. But now that would be wondering, that is one of the funniest sketches. I would want to learn more about it, but does it ruin it to learn more about it? Or is
of course it ruins it, and you have to have had gotten your laughs out of it by now. I don't think you're going to go back and watch the cowbell sketch and laugh.
Well, there's so many things that are great about the cowbell sketch. Like when he comes in and says who his name is, and then they all of a sudden decide that that's a genius guy.
Yeah.
When Christopher Walken comes in. I'm not going to ask more questions about that because
but you should watch it. It did it reinforced that it was a place that I never should have been.
Right.
That I would not have thrived in that.
And I applied to be on it. Can you imagine how terrible it would have been?
I think it would have been horrible for you too.
I did a packet for it.
It would have been horrible for us in different ways, but it would have been horrible for both of us. It would have been worse for you just because of the personalization that takes place with you over me.
Yes.
Yeah.
And back then, I'm saying now I could go on to a senior version of it.
Right.
So
we should have a senior circuit for SNL for maybe Sunday night.
So do they? But they don't. It's nothing like we're going to show you in this hour how Lorne Michaels is a fucking
it's funny to me how he didn't seem to participate in it.
Right. He's not even interviewed at all, or
not for any of these. No, they have some old interview stuff with him about the weird year.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to me how Steve Higgins, who's been the producer for like 25 years, it's
unbelievable when you think about it.
It's amazing how he constantly stays out of the spotlight of that show.
That's his trick, right?
I don't know if it's his trick, but it certainly seems to be a strategy.
And he was also very friendly with Lorne, right? Mostly?
Well, of course, yeah. And I get the sense that he does all the firing and dirty work, and Lorne holds his perch. But I was watching
Higgins had to do mean things? Like producer type things? Like you've done?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. And even I was like watching a few minutes of the Jimmy Fallon had an anniversary show, and there's like barely any Steve. It's just like amazing how he's created this world for himself where, he's mega successful yet totally invisible almost.
Well, also not bothering. It's like he's perfect for Fallon because he's never gonna Andy Richter Fallon. He's never gonna go, what are you talking about? No, he's so positive, but probably not too prominent, right? Like trying to.
No, you hear. Like Steve does a voiceover on virtually every SNL episode. He does at least one voiceover, and
what do you mean? Oh, one of the voices.
A voiceover.
You mean like paid voiceover?
Well, yeah, that's by law. He has to be.
Can you recognize his voice?
Absolutely.
I do not recognize his voice.
Yeah, it's there almost every week.
Who books that?
Like if there's like any kind of intro to a sketch with text and someone reads it, that's always him. Yeah.
Wow. Did they talk about him, or of course they had to talk about him?
No, they didn't. That's my point.
Oh. He didn't come up at all? He probably didn't.
No, he was on camera for one of the shows, but very briefly. And I'm just saying, he does it. He's able to be attentionless.
Yeah, let me tell you something about Steve Higgins. I worked with him on stuff, and I always thought he was hilarious. I thought all three of them were hilarious.
Yes.
So he always made me laugh. But then, of course, I fell out of touch with him when he was. I have nothing. I know because one time I was slamming Saturday Night Live on Twitter or whatever. He goes, "Yeah, he did it somewhat funny.
Right.
I can read all these, Andy. I see them every time."
Last time I saw him was in New York at a Saturday Night Live after party, and he held his table for us.
Oh, cool.
Yes. I watched a couple of interviews with Jane Curtin, who I now just love and love.
Oh, you do? That's cool.
Because
she did that thing with Jeremy Kramer. Did you ever see the thing she did with him?
No.
The World's Worst Date?
No.
Oh, it's really funny. Okay, go ahead.
But she, divorced herself from all of the bullshit of Saturday Night Live when she was there, basically. She didn't go in on Wednesday and Thursday she was just like, if I stay there and, I don't like pitching, I'm not going to beg. And if I go home, I end up they're going to have to use me in something, and I end up in the same amount of sketches as if it's just like, don't make me beg. And she said once she got updated, that fixed everything for her, because then she had something to do no matter what. But
wow.
But she didn't like Lauren. She and Lauren didn't talk. She was like, what am I going to talk? He's going to name drop Paul Simon and 10 other names to me.
Oh my God! So she got it and just didn't want any part of it.
And he didn't talk to her either. She would go through Gilda to talk to James.
And she was also excellent at her job. If she wasn't
absolutely
excellent,
no.
then he could have probably.
But I just loved her sense of regular lifedom that she clung to. She had just gotten married before the show, and Lauren was like, "That's not going to last," and she's still married to the guy. And
I always thought of her. In the old days, there was a time period in my life where, and I've done this joke about the Grateful Dead, like Pigpen, they told him he had a year to live, and then he said, fucking, and he died, right? So when I was a freshman in college, I was like, fucking Pigpen, he's a badass.
Right.
He's but then I'm a sophomore. By the time I'm a junior, I'm like, what an
idiot.
A dumb
they
fuck. Said So I actually could relate to everybody can relate to that. Belushi can drink 5 gallons of this and still produce a great show. So I used to think she was like a little bit of a stuffed shirt.
Well, I think she was. I think
right, but not. But an actual choice of how to navigate this horrible atmosphere. So now she's my favorite too.
Yeah, I love her. She's fantastic.
She did Kate and Allie. Yes,
she did Kate and Allie. She did Third Rock from the Sun.
Oh, there's one scene where it's who is the guy? His name is it Bill Russell? Yeah, Bill Russell did a bit, and he kept saying, "Is it because I'm black?" And then it's not because he's black. And then at the end, Jane Curtin goes, "And now we're doing this to you."
Bill Russell? Are you talking about Garrett Morris?
No.
Bill Russell was the center for the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, he used to come on and do. He was on Saturday Night Live a lot, I thought, but that bit was about. Everything was it's because you're black, and then at the end, Jane Curtin goes, "It's because you're black." Can you search it while I'm talking? Okay, did you see Timothy? Okay, I did watch this, and I'm not saying unfortunately. I have nothing against Timothy Chalamet. I don't know anything about him, so he might be in some great movies. He seems like an interesting, funny guy. I don't know anything about him, but as I told you, I don't want to watch that movie. I'm never going to watch that movie. But he was the band. He was the host and the band.
Right.
On Saturday Night Live. And so I got to watch it. And he goes, first of all, he says, I'm going to be doing some Bob Dylan songs that you probably don't know. I do know them. I know both of them. And any Dylan fan would know both of them.
Right.
So he's like trying to go, I'm going to do a couple of obscure Bob Dylan songs.
You know what,
They're
Andy?
not obscure.
Saturday Night Live is not geared for 68-year-old men, Andy.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. But Tomorrow is a long time is a song, and so I was yelling it. I was saying it to like I play all Bob Dylan songs, and I think I play them well because I just love him. I've been playing him since I was 12, right? So I said, what he had to bring that up a step and a half. He had to capo that song, and then Susan was like, "I've never heard anybody argue against capoing before." And she, okay, I'll take that back. But it was the song was too low for him, and he had to bring it. He does these two songs, and there's a guy on there named James Blake, not the James Blake, the tennis player,
no,
the musician who I know nothing about. And it's all about, they do two just scratchy, weird. They have Bob Dylan's harmonica being played by somebody else. Both songs were terrible. And both songs were boring. It's like boring. It's like, it'd be like anybody, it'd be me. If I say, come over to the house tonight, Josh, I've got something you're never going to see before, and I play you Dylan songs. I don't even understand. I know this anger creeps in. The anger creeps in. But why? Why?
The only reason the anger feels weird is because you feel like they should have asked you to go on and play Dylan songs.
I know I'm too old for that now. I'm too old. Had I been 30...
Also, no, even at 30, they weren't going to ask you on to do Dylan songs.
No, see, that's the other part. Why wasn't I Timothy Chalamet when I was 28? I was weird looking, right? He's probably not weird looking. But I was... As
I said on Blue Sky, when he does Dylan, when he sings in the movie, it feels like he's doing Dylan. When he does it on TV, it feels like he's doing Jimmy Fallon doing Dylan.
Oh, you said this already to me?
No, I put it on Blue Sky yesterday.
Now, I forgot that you've seen the movie.
I have, yes.
Well, and did we talk about it?
We did, yeah.
And why did you see it?
Because
we're interested in it. You were interested in it.
Well, I got the screeners, came in, and I went, I'll watch that one.
How come I'm not getting? I don't get screeners anymore.
Because you have to.
Is these Writers Guild?
No, SAG.
I'm in SAG.
Right. Well, they sent out a card that says, starting January 15th, sign up here, get your pen, and watch the movies.
Oh, is it January 15th yet?
Yes.
I think I can still get my pen.
You still can.
Oh, you're not getting... I used to love when I would get DVDs that
you
came
can opt
to the
in
door.
for that if you'd like.
Yeah, I don't want that. Okay, so I'll check them out. Is that how you saw Real Pain?
Yes. Okay. Although it's available on Hulu, I think.
You can download it now. So here's the other part that bothered me. Okay, so what'd you think of it? I forgot what you said. You thought it was okay or it was weird?
I didn't like it, but it was better than I thought it would be. There were things I thought they did well, but mostly I just thought it was. I just think the whole thing's dumb.
Right. So, the other thing that bothered me was that after each song, and this is what I would want to do, but he goes, he high fives and shakes hands with every musician on the set. On the set. In the second song, they show him, thank you. Isn't that basically saying, this is all because of you guys? I have nothing to do with this. And then they're all like you, but that's not what they're returning to him. You're the king. James Blake is, this guy's the king. These guys, they don't know, they don't think he's the king. They just took the gig or something. I don't know why I'm angry now, but maybe we should stop.
I thought it was silly that he did that. That's about as much as I got.
I thought, as someone who has similar problems with, but I, thought I couldn't sing, thought I couldn't sing. I was thinking that if I was in a similar situation, I would want them to say, you're very good as a singer, too. If I was in the Timothy Chalamet situation, and I think that he did a lot of glad handing. You don't get what I'm saying. So let's go on, because I'm not going to be able to explain it.
Well, no, but I mean, he set it up in the monologue as saying, I don't know how this is, they wanted me to do this. It could either be a prank or it could be, it could be good.
Oh, you mean just doing it on Saturday Night Live?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I think he shouldn't have done it.
And so I think, he was acknowledging that there were others that made the performance rather than just going, I'm the king. I think it was a measure of humility, which was warranted in that case because what he did wasn't that good.
Well, I think I could relate to the obsequious tenor of that. It's not obsequious, but in a way, if you are like hugging and kissing the drummer who you've never known before in your life, I think I'm adding my own personality to this. But if I would say, if I was in that situation, no, but I don't think it's quite like that. He's not Bob Dylan. He's not. So he has to at one point think, why the fuck am I doing Bob Dylan in the movie? Unless he has internal life.
No, I think in the movie, it's totally legit. He was playing Bob Dylan. What can you do but sing? He sounded like Bob Dylan too. He did great. He did fine in the movie. He did.
He does not sound like Bob Dylan.
But that's good. He wasn't trying to. He was trying to
be himself.
Give the spirit of Bob Dylan without doing some hacky impression. And I think he pulled it off pretty well.
In the movie.
Yes.
You mean. Right. Okay.
But coming on and doing songs that weren't in the movie and just basically doing a weird half-assed Bob Dylan impression on Saturday Night Live is a weird fucking thing and you know, and dorky thing as far as I'm concerned to do.
And I don't think he should. I mean, it sounds like something that Lorne Michaels didn't reject. Lorne Michaels said, "This is ridiculous," but why did they do that? But it doesn't matter. It just does not matter.
It really doesn't matter.
It really doesn't matter. Because I don't normally.
Totally
there's a lot of musical acts I don't like on that show, and sometimes I do like them. But
there's a lot of things right now that matter in this world, and that just woof.
I saw something else that I want to recommend to you because you probably saw it already because it's just fascinating. Aaron Rodgers' Enigma.
Yeah, I watched a couple minutes. I hate this fucking guy. I don't care.
Okay. Here's the thing about him. I saw all three because I was fascinated with it.
Uh-huh.
The third one opens up with him hiking with RFK Jr.
Uh-huh.
And RFK Jr. says, "Did you ever want to get into politics?" He goes, he says this. Well, I was, he doesn't talk this way. Well, when I was in high school, I ran for something as a sophomore. But I never really wanted to get into politics, sir, until you ran this time. And here's the thing I think is the most, that I would never predicted years ago. Yeah, I predicted someone like Charles Manson could take LSD and murder. But I never would imagine years ago that ayahuasca and all these things that I'm interested in. I haven't done them, but I'm interested in that whole topic, Michael Pollan and all those things. I never would have thought it would look so stupid. It just looks ridiculous. With Aaron Rodgers, he's got like ex-football player friends, and they're all like sitting around and they film the ayahuasca ceremonies.
Uh-huh.
So it just looks, it's like either the people were paid to kiss his ass, but the fact that they're claiming that, or maybe that they're not judging. Maybe they're just not judging, but it just looked ridiculous. The people putting on the ceremonies, the shamans and all those people, the place he went to, all the people worked there.
No, they're promoting what they do in this movie. Why wouldn't they be happy? Because there are people who don't promote ayahuasca and who do the ayahuasca, but they're not on a movie. They're not on a doc. So I would be suspicious. But they get the word out. If they're charging people for their services doing ayahuasca ceremonies, people don't mind getting the word out.
Right. But I thought it was a little bit more sacred than him. And anyway, the revelations that he has are all narcissistic. When he comes on the ayahuasca, I just realized, and he would say, I'm worthwhile. We're all worthwhile, like that.
Yeah. I think frequent epiphanies are a symptom of narcissism.
Absolutely. Yes. Or also taking something that other people use to dig deeper. If you're not digging deeper, you're just assembling another character. Although there were things that happened to him that were kind of creepy. His younger brother went on The Bachelor, went on a dating show.
Right.
And they had the whole family, all the Rodgers there, except for Aaron Rodgers didn't want to be participated in it. And he goes, so they left two empty chairs there. And I wanted to tell Aaron Rodgers, they left those empty chairs there because they don't want to cross the line. They don't shoot. They always shoot in a semicircle. Maybe they showed the two empty chairs.
I'm sure they showed the two empty chairs.
Yes, right. But they would have shot it that way even if he was there. But the point is, it did seem like his brother, he said, my brother did it because he wanted to get famous. And I guess he didn't win the date or whatever. But that part did seem like, also he got a woman, they had the press, media was terrible. They arranged a woman who had cancer at the airport and they show him walking by. But then you find out he has been already signed a million things for her. So I know the media does not come out clean. You could see how it would be annoying to him, but that doesn't justify why he's an asshole, though.
Right.
And he only looked good when he was in the scenes with Brett Favre because Brett Favre was in them.
Yeah.
And there's nobody worse than Brett Favre right now. as an image of a. I'm not talking about Trump. Sports figures. It was one thing when Brett Favre was caught.
By the way, you were right on the Bill Russell thing. Season 5, episode 3.
Oh, season 5, Bill Russell. Well, see, that's also early on where there's no way you could have watched it when it came out. I watched it when it came out.
No, I did watch it. Season 5, I was watching when it came out.
Oh, when were you born?
71. 71.
Okay, there you got it. Yeah.
But no, I distinctly remember the pet. Like I think it must have been that year because it was 79. I remember like the Pepsi syndrome sketch when they're doing their 3 Mile Island spoof.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
You know, I wonder if sometimes you remember them even more than me because by the 79, I was out here in L.A. and maybe I didn't see them as much. No, I did.
I watched them. I mean, once I started watching them, I watched them religiously. But I have it took me a while to realize I have a lot of false memories because of reruns. Like they were showing season 1 and 2 and season 4 and 5, and so I feel like I was watching it longer than I actually was. But by the time I was 8 or 9, I was watching them. You know, it was getting the babysitter to let us stay up and watch it.
The way I got into SCTV was, I'm trying to think. I was such a huge fan of theirs, but I didn't normally watch sketch shows. I guess I did watch sketch shows. I watched Saturday Night Live, but I got addicted to SCTV, and I think I've seen a lot of it.
I didn't get when I was 8 or 9. I didn't get SCTV like I got SNL. But later I retro watched all of the SCTV stuff, but it was because it kind of looked weird. The production value was sort of askew, and they were making references in ways that I couldn't possibly have gotten them.
Right.
Like the Pepsi syndrome I got because my parents took me to the China syndrome. I knew who Jimmy Carter was. I knew.
Okay. I didn't even get it when you said it.
Yeah. But SCTV, I didn't know who fucking Perry Como was. I didn't know.
And I think that stuff leaked into people's consciousness after they were doing it even. Rick Moranis was famous for... No, I guess everybody who loved them knew it then.
Yeah, but I think they were on Nick at Night for years, too, for a while.
Right.
I think unlike SNL, I think SCTV has only grown in its esteem over the decades.
Yeah, that's true. And of course it's... do you hear that? Some kind of vacuum. It's okay.
It's all right.
Do you hear that?
I always hear a loud sucking sound. So,
do you hear someone saying "I hate you" in this tiny voice in the bottom of their soul? I hate you.
Yeah,
do you hear that?
That's your dad. Yeah.
Wait, I think I actually covered everything I was going to. Usually, I'm like overflowing with bad material.
But now you just run out.
Well, no, I'm not running out, so don't hang up on me rudely. But okay. Enigma, see, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to start backtracking. What I usually try to do is sneak in, because it's going well, sneak in, go back into it. Uh-huh. Yeah, that Enigma was terrible.
Was that the Aaron Rodgers thing, Enigma?
Yeah. I dig back into it because you liked it when I was talking about it before.
Did you come away feeling he was enigmatic?
I think it's a good name for the documentary. I think he's ultimately as good as maybe as good as any quarterback has been, except he didn't have as many Super Bowls like Joe Montana. He didn't have that, but he was probably as great as you could be. He was great. He was a very great player.
Yeah. And proof that being a great quarterback implies nothing else about you as a person other than that.
Right. It's good enough, though. It's good enough. Except, here's the thing. I was feeling guilty for weeks because I said, Tom Brady is not weeks. Tom Brady is growing on me. And he goes, well, you said he's not growing on me. And then from that time onward, all I could notice was that this asshole sneaks in how the quarterback sucks or the quarterback can't. Everyone kind of sucks. Or is not playing at the level. He doesn't say that I played,
right?
But the level you have to play,
right?
And he's annoying. He said, "I like Romo, even though I like stuff about Romo when he's just muttering sometimes. He'll just mutter.
I like Romo. I actually really think Romo, the amount that Romo has calmed down has helped him a lot.
And the other guy's great. Nance is great.
Yeah, they're a good team.
Yeah. So,
but I don't think you should feel guilty about feeling like Tom Brady was growing on you. Again, you have the right to the wrong opinion, as you epiphanied last week.
Oh no! And actually, if I think I actually maybe years ago I would have said I got to tell Josh he was right. I got to tell Josh. So I was even able to let that roll off the thing. Okay, I saw him say one thing that I thought was good, and then but he's just oppressive, and he has he sounds MAGA to me.
Yeah.
He sounds MAGA to me, whether he is or not. He's always saying, I had said hello to Jerry Jones on the field. No, that's not Jerry Jones. Who was the coach? Jimmy Johnson. Because I said hello to Jimmy Johnson on the field. That's the greatest guy ever. He just loves guys and.
Well, I mean, he's a fucking quarterback. What do you
Didn't
think?
he have? But that's not true. I mean, Joe Namath was very intellectual. Did he have? Didn't he have Trump poster in his locker? Is that how he got in trouble?
Who?
Tom Brady got in trouble for having a Trump poster or something in his locker.
I don't think he got in trouble, really. Maybe got shit.
He overcame everything. I think he was deflating the footballs that year. I really think he was.
Yeah,
because
probably.
that's the kind of guy he is.
Sure.
But the investigation was done shoddily. But he is one of those guys who'll do anything to win in a bad way, maybe. But I wanted to start liking him. Why? Why would I start to like him?
Well, I mean, what's the win? You know, what's the loss of not liking him? Is more the question.
I hated the Patriots for so long.
I mean, I think that's how people are starting to get behind Trump.
It turns around.
You know, well, everyone else is liking Trump. Maybe I should.
Do you know? Did you text this to me? No, it was Bruce said. Well, Jay Johnston's going to be back on Bob's Burgers. He was kidding, but Jay Johnston. Did we talk about this? He probably isn't in jail, right? He probably is out.
I would doubt he is got left behind
because he's in show business. So Trump might have heard of him or something.
No, I doubt it.
I'm still doing good at staying away from watching the news and stuff. Pretty good.
Yeah.
So just hang up on me. I'm tired that I feel angry that I kept it longer than when the natural flow of the show. Don't you think the natural flow of the show was get the fuck out of here in an hour?
It would have been. Yeah, we missed the moment. Yeah.
I still even now I can't do it. That's the hold you have over me.
I couldn't believe that you didn't have a problem with Tom Brady singing "A Hard Rain's Gonna Fall."
Work it out, work it out, work it out. We work it out together. to come because we're having so much fun. Everybody, everybody, everybody wants to live, wants to live, wants to live. They want to live forever. In the U.S., in the USA, in the U.S., in the USA, in the U.S., in the USA, in the U.S., in the USA.
Huh? See how it works?
Huh?
Now you're a little hungry, right?
It's true. It's true.
Is that right?
There's some anticipation. I actually got to resentment before you answered. Happy.
Is that the five stages of Andy Kindler? Grudge, resentment, acceptance, decision not to accept again. Grudge. Did I say grudge?
It goes back to grudge. It all goes back to
then
grudge.
Death.
Yes.
And then death. Right. Painful death, isolated because I lack general humanity towards those closest to me. I hate to be the one to say it.
wish I was on the arguing end of this.
Why do I see controls? I guess it's like turning off the...
Because you're a control freak.
I want to say once again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking with Josh Elvis Weinstein of the Thought Spiral podcast. What temperature do you think it is in Los Angeles right now, Josh?
I wish it was 65 degrees, but it's in the 40s. It's in the 40s right now.
It's 65 degrees downtown Los Angeles. And be careful of those fire areas. Hey, don't put away your hoses yet. Okay, look. Here's the thing. I want to say once again, I watched it on Tubi. I watched the Fiddling Horse on Tubi. I could have paid $2.99. I Tubi'd, and Tubi is actually good. They give you 4 commercials. They start easy, then they it's hard by the end, and when they have you roped in. And oh my God, I think it was very entertaining what we did. Susan loved both of our acting.
Really?
Yes, she loved it. She never saw it before.
Yes, she
was there. She was there for the shoot.
Yeah, but wasn't she in New York with us? No.
No.
Oh, that's right.
Not in New York with us. She just doesn't know I went to New York.
But didn't we do like a watch party thing or something?
No. Well, maybe, but I mean, she lied to you and said
I can't believe she hadn't seen it, frankly.
And she really thought both of our acting was great. She really enjoyed it. And we both enjoyed the...
Weird, my wife liked it too.
Is that true?
Yes.
But did she compliment my acting as well?
I don't recall.
Oh, God damn it. You are excellent. And when you go, here's the thing. It made me laugh at least 7 to 10 times, maybe 10 times. I got a really good laugh out of it.
Did any of my moves make you laugh at any time?
Yes. Yes, she's going to be trouble. Yes. And also the entire thing. Look, C.J. Wallace is like the C.J. Wallace of C.J. Wallace's. He really...
One of one is what you're saying.
One of one. He's a sui generis. So he's got a lot of things going on, but a lot of the things don't work. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so the stuff with who would have thought, and I feel so bad because I can't remember my vegetable list friend in Louisiana, our friend. Johnny. I forgot, I couldn't. The scene with you with the fractional ownership is just so amazing. It's selling something. You're watching a movie about something that hasn't been sold that way probably in a long time. And although there's probably current schemes like that, there are. People invite you over, you have a chicken dinner.
What I really remember about those scenes is that it's the first thing I shot. Having it was like 4 full pages of dialogue for me, monologue, and I'd never acted in a movie really before. So it was a big first day.
And it probably inured, I don't know if that word's a word, to your benefit. Because I'm not saying
because I had no confidence that I had done it well.
Right. But you also had no chance to do it over and over to feel comfortable with it. Right? He was like, but the whole idea of fractional ownership, the whole idea of what he's doing and how people feel about what he's doing, and Johnny is just took a ticket. He just got I didn't buy the plane. I mean, it's just he is great. The scene where he's staring at you two talking. Who's talking? He's in the background.
Me and the rapper whose name I forgot.
Oh yeah, he's excellent.
I love.
He's
him.
excellent.
Yeah.
Everybody in that movie was excellent. Bitterman, that woman was good. I would make the argument that there are certain scenes that, much like French New Wave cinema, we left it. It's realite, but we left it open to maybe your interpretation of what some of the things mean.
Yeah,
because I frankly am still confused.
It wasn't strongly plotted. There was both easy holes in the plot and lack of clarity in the plot.
Yes, and the way that I was taken away at the end, not like a scene in Goodfellas. Just very quickly.
It was a little sketch-like.
What am I doing? What are you doing? Sorry, Barry.
But overall, it was a great experience.
I particularly like that T.J. Markwalter, who used to be my agent, is playing someone who's following me in Vegas. No, in Austin, wherever we were. What's wrong, Barry? Bailing Barry?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. TJ just retired.
He did. It's like, here's the thing that makes you, I think I already know this, but that's the thing that makes it unbelievable. I never thought that this field, you'd ever say somebody's retired from booking clubs and performing at clubs. It doesn't seem like, I'm not making fun of the profession. I'm just making fun of the fact that I'm old.
Yeah.
And he's younger than me, I think, probably.
Oh,
or it might be my age.
I don't know. I would say younger.
You'd say it just to annoy me, right?
Well, yes, but in this
How
case...
about Louis Black?
Louis Black older than you.
Thank you. Now I'm going to just start naming dead people I enjoy.
Eddie Youngman, also older.
Richard Belzer, who I was personal friends with. I like personal friends with. That's what Aaron Rodgers... They didn't include that in Enigma. They didn't include Aaron Rodgers saying, I'm personal friends with Joe Rogan, which I think is the greatest.
Well, because it's implied now.
So I was very happy with everything. And I love the set. I mean, I think that he did a fantastic job, CJ, even though he's left entire communities who are suing him. No, I mean, I just was happy with the whole thing. I think it was, I was like, I never watched it till now, except for when we went to New York.
Yeah. I swear to God, we did like a watch party thing with both of us online.
Oh, maybe we did, but I don't remember that.
But the pandemic.
Well, then Susan didn't see it. But then also, so I of course knew to be looking for the scenes. Well, first of all, one scene that I was very scared about actually looked funny to me.
Yeah.
I never thought I could menace you with a shovel and make it look like anything real.
It's kind of really on me, isn't it? Being menaced.
No, it's more like you don't really think. It's more like I think of someone. Hey, you're not really scared. You're not really scared of me. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm not.
But it was no. I thought you did a good. If my recollection is correct, because I haven't watched it since 20.
Katzman. Who's Katzman? When you went? Who's Katzman? Did Katzman send you? Who's Katzman? You say. Who's Katzman? And then later on, I go, is it Katzman? Who's Katzman? You say as a return or whatever they call that. Call back.
We call that.
And then it is true that he did sink that first shot, and it looks very nice. I thought he lied about it when he mentioned it on our podcast.
The shooting pool thing, you mean?
Yeah, I thought, he's saying, how the fuck do we know it was his first thing? But it was. It was the very first thing you did. Bang, bang, boom, bang, bang. It was 8-ball side pocket, make it come off of the bumper car, and it was just perfect. And in general,
it was my only moment to look the least bit cool in that movie.
Oh, you looked well. You look generally. Also, the decision for one of us not to wear glasses.
And I'm really glad
decision.
it was you, because I would have been like the googly-eyed protagonist if I didn't wear glasses.
We never compared actual vision, right? Are you about the same, or? I'm
just highly astigmatic, so when I take my glasses off, weird shit happens.
Okay. It sounds like the worst action-adventure movie. When he's astigmatic
cowboy.
Yeah, so I enjoyed looking at my mug. I liked my horrible posture. I liked all of those things that I had created, even without knowing why. A very uncomfortable. I like the jujitsu. I like any of the things. Like, we didn't break the fourth wall, but we certainly made jokes about the horse business that you have to know the references. So I mean, I just enjoyed it. It was good, and that's it. I can't think of anything else.
I mean, your part was actually written for you.
Yes, your part was like
written for a real actor.
After a couple of people
who dropped out.
No, after a couple of people got. Oh, you know who I saw? I was just asking, people got hurt right now. I like that Colt Reynolds guy. Oh my God! And is he the guy in the Donkey Kong movie?
Yes, he's the antagonist in the Donkey Kong documentary.
You've seen that documentary, right?
I have, years ago.
I have never seen it. It's good, right?
Yeah, I think it was King of Kong.
But does it get not good because this guy turns out to be an operator, kind of, or they knew he was an operator? No,
that's what makes it a good doc.
A good doc, okay. But is he good at playing the game? And because I believe the other guy is good, but I don't believe anything Colt Reynolds says.
No, I think he's quite the player. He just might not be. I don't remember the movie, Andy. I don't remember the movie we were in.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I'm glad you watched it and enjoyed it, and I'm glad Susan enjoyed it.
Yeah, and the thing is,
it's such an example of like a thing I crossed off on my bucket list.
Yeah, you have to.
That was completely like all of my bucket list items that I've crossed off, showbiz wise, have been pretty completely invisible to the general public, and yet I've been able to still check them off.
Well, that's where I think real spiritual growth comes from, because I always wanted to, since I was a little kid, either see myself on a 1-hour procedural like Mannix.
Yeah.
I always wanted to do that kind of acting. Or I always wanted to be in a movie. And I was in a movie.
Yeah.
And
in a big role.
It fulfilled that urge.
That's what I'm talking about. It's like
I know you're talking about that. That's what I know. We're both talking about.
And seeing it on screen in New York was exciting too.
Neither one of us. Look, I'm more idealistic. What's the word? Like, I'm like, we could develop very much in our 80s, we could be like on David Chase type things, and you could catch up to how many times Raymond's been on something.
That's not idealistic. That's delusional.
That's delusional.
Yes.
That's delusional. But I have to say, when I was taping Raymond as a younger man, I had a lot of envy, insecurity about how I was, coming off. I loved Raymond, and I actually watched every one of his movies that came out. But I was an envious fellow. I was thinking, I used to have that joke about where Carrot Top has 3 movies out. I call my manager. Do I have to do anything to get my career going? And so the point is that I am no longer, and now you could say, yeah, easy now at 68 to accept your fate.
Well, better than the alternative, at least.
Right, but I just feel like, and maybe go, yes, that is early dementia, when you can't remember your accomplishments. And like Reagan, you look in an aquarium and you go, I was on that ship, or whatever the thing was that was very sad from his book. I used to be on that ship. I used to be in that White House, he said.
In an aquarium White House?
No, I think I ruined the story with my own fear. Again, my own fear of being doddering. My big
revelation doing that movie was like the one thing that I actually impressed myself with not my performance, I assure you, but the
You
fact
can't evaluate your performance. You're too hard on yourself. Even if
no,
you can technically say,
I'm
yes, you looked in the camera a lot. So what?
I went to the Norman Fell classes.
You followed my lip. You were following my lips like.
I was just saying your lines to help you. No, but it was really it was shocking to me how unself-conscious I felt acting. Like that.
Yes, that's it. Looked that way.
Like that was the one thing I sort of like made myself promise myself I wouldn't do is bring my shit to the screen.
Right.
You know? And I was shocked that when I was actually in the moments doing it, I wasn't worried about what do I look like, how do I, I was really, I was able to get into the moment, and that was very fun because self-consciousness is like the enemy.
The anti-acting device.
Yes.
That's what always would destroy my auditions, would be so in the moment until the actual words came up.
Right.
And this takes a special skill, I guess, to audition. But if you're not experienced like Al Pacino and you do feel self-conscious, then an audition is probably. People are going to see that. Now, maybe they'll look past it, or I don't know what I'm talking about now.
I never did enough auditions to ever get a process or a method or any, it was just like, there was just way too many rooms where I went in and went, why am I here?
Yeah. I don't know if
why
other
am I
feel like
trying,
that.
why as a 20-year-old guy am I trying out with the cast members of Goodfellas for the same ad? Why? It doesn't make sense to me.
And why is there a job involved where you go in and it looks like 10 people who look similar to you are there for that job?
I wish that was the case with my auditions. They had no fucking idea what to do with me at that point because I just wasn't a type at all.
Well, here's the thing. I feel self-conscious all the time I feel self-conscious all the time, less about acting because it's a whole long story, but I thought from my acting teacher in college that you were supposed to get into some kind of like almost spell.
Be a penguin. Be a penguin.
But I do, but like, I remember like one thing, for example, Susan liked the shot and I felt like really comfortable. The shot where I'm just coming up the escalator and there's just, I just looked despondent. Susan said that looked really good, when she was looking at the monitor or whatever she was looking, and that looked really good. And then when it came in the movie, it was like, yeah, that was fun. I'm not doing anything there, but coming up the elevator, just the part of acting that you're just feeling despondent and you're bored and you're on an elevator. I mean, escalator. Not bored, but you're whatever.
Right.
So it was like things like that. I don't think, and the thing is, I don't not think it's ever going to happen again, but I'm not going the other way and getting into regional theater,
right.
and begging you to be in the Sunshine Boys with me. I'm not going that route with it.
No, I had my little internal moment, at least, of this could be the start of something, and then it went away very quickly.
Well, for us, this could be the start of something small.
That's right.
That's what we
or
should
the
say.
end of something small.
This could be the start of something that doesn't go well. I don't know why.
Did you watch that the SNL 3-hour music?
I did not do it. Are you talking about the documentary that you watched?
No, the Questlove 50 Years of Music special thing.
Oh, I don't even know it was on.
Yeah, there's no. What's great, the best thing about it is what it opens with is this, several minute montage / mashup that he made of all of, not just clip after clip, but intermeshing the music between clips. And
right.
And it was very cool and well done. And apparently
he's a great musician.
It took him like a year to do. So.
And
we were talking the other day about how Steve Higgins is never on camera talking about the show, but he was actually in that special fairly, yeah. He was fairly present
he was
in that.
He was ubiquitous.
Not ubiquitous at all, but...
Okay. Did you get a call from the East Coast?
What?
Saying, look, Oh, God, this
Yes,
is
yes.
Steve Higgins' fake agent.
If I had to answer to SNL, do you think I would be associated with you?
That's true. That's a good point. You know, I see you. I see your whole thing with me being transactional. Like if they call it the house and they go, yeah. Yes, I've done a stupid podcast with them. I don't know why they would be calling to have me killed, and you would be agreeing to it. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
What
Say
the
something
premise
mean
of that?
about Michael Shea and Colin Jess right now.
No, I love those two.
See?
I can't say. Here's the thing, because I've said this is just maybe a knee flex. Knee-jerk reaction, because I've said so many not terrible, I think they're hilarious, charming things about people. I'm nervous when I do like people that I bend over backwards.
I know. That's why I was taunting you.
And it's really off-putting. I love them both.
That was my underlying point.
Right, and I decided that I do actually like their Weekend Update. And it's absolutely impossible for me to look at it objectively, because part of it is
close to it.
I don't know. It's like I've signed off on their personalities together.
Yeah,
and I like the things that they do.
Because they said nice things,
and they like me. See, there you understand. I wonder if I can tell this story. Yeah, I could probably tell this story.
Probably. I mean, not well, but
not. No, when I was opening for Michael Penn and Amy Mann, Michael requested that I not do my Billy Joel routine, which was like singing his songs.
Yeah.
I forget some of the routine, but it was breaking down. I was the first one to break down the lyrics of Piano Man and take them down.
Yeah.
And he said because Billy Joel had been very, very, nice to him and said nice things to him. So I think it's okay now to bring that out, talk about it.
Yeah.
He's not going to get in trouble now.
Michael Penn asked you to be polite.
What's that?
Michael Penn asked you to be polite. That's the big expose.
Well, no, but there are certain people. I mean, I've said the story before, so I think it's okay to say it. Gilbert Gottfried, or maybe I haven't said it before. Gilbert Gottfried, Fred Willard has been a long-time friend with Gilbert Gottfried, and he had him on a benefit, and Gilbert Gottfried goes after the whole thing about Fred and the theater and all that, and it was nothing but horrifying to Fred and Mary and anybody else.
All right.
So I think Gilbert is one of these people. He's self-sabotaging anyway.
Well, he's dead.
I'm sorry. He's self-sabotaging anyway, and then you can also say that what makes him funny is his ability to say that, but maybe he didn't have to say that. Maybe he didn't have it. I don't know what he got out of it.
Yeah, but I mean, I do think that it's, he's obviously paid for his jokes in his life. For Affleck, for example, if you recall.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Like, mischosen jokes were part of his
it's just like I don't think he had I think he was lacking an empathy gene or something, or that was part of his comedy.
I mean, clearly he wasn't like an altogether guy.
Well, look, I've said a million times, nobody's made me laugh more than him. Why do I act like I've been on Larry King talking about this? Nobody knows.
I mean, first, both he and Fred are dead. I don't think you need to hold Fred's grudge against Gilbert, actively.
I don't even think Fred had a grudge. I think
his feelings got hurt that night.
Yeah, that was all. It wasn't like he was going, "Did you hear what happened?"
No, but I mean, to me, that seems to be like your first thought about Gilbert is that moment. Only
because of the illness I have, which is OCD, and I black and white and all that kind of thing.
Right.
But then it quickly goes away in my own mind. But sorry to interrupt.
No, that's okay. Yeah, I mean, like I said, he wasn't an altogether guy, so it's.
Well, I mean, he did the. I don't like the tsunami joke that he did, but it was fun. It was.
No one ever goes down on a great joke. Like no one ever goes, has a personal plane crash. Bad analogy this week, over a really great joke. It's always a failed joke that is in bad taste.
Exactly. It's actually it's actually a joke along the lines of what is his name? Smirnov? That can't be his name. The guy from Russia?
Yakov Smirnov?
Yeah. Ocean comes to you. It was kind of like that kind of joke. I don't even remember
what the joke was. I just remember it was
in Japan, the ocean comes, you don't even have to go to the beach. The beach comes to you or something like that.
I think that was it.
Didn't you
there was something about something floating by or something.
Bill Russell sketch online too. Put the card in. So what am I proving about myself? I'm a know-it-all now. All of a sudden, I was right twice in a row or something.
Okay.
Or 1 out of 4 times.
Cue the deficit rag.
Is that about me personally? Oh, I'm very feel bad because I did not retweet the questions or. It's like this is it's bad enough being around someone who's narcissistic, but what's even more annoying is the constant because they have to report on it all the time. You know what I mean? It's not just the narcissism. I'm telling you, I did this and I was thinking about that. I add to my own, and people actually like the police. People are looking into me like as if I have narcissistic personality disorder. I mean, this is a bit I'm doing, and I'm tired of it already. No, but I mean, people are going to think that I have a serious illness if they listen to this podcast. I get that idea.
I think it's because you keep telling them you have a serious illness over and over.
Well, I have a comedic illness for the podcast, but off the air, we know that it's day by day. I'm in a robe, and I'm like asking for water now.
I would like to, off topic completely, because I can't get into this topic. I just want to recommend recommend it with air quotes, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band movie, which is now on Netflix and has been a near lifelong fascination of mine.
It's something that just came out?
No.
No, we've talked about this.
No, it came out in 1978. Stars the Bee Gees and Peter Frampton as Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
Is this something you haven't seen since then? You have seen it.
No, I've seen it many, many times throughout my life. It is probably the shittiest movie I've watched the most in my life.
It's like Spinal Tap, except they don't know that they're in a sketch.
Right.
No.
Right. It's like if there was a cocaine joke in Spinal Tap and it lasted 90 minutes.
Well,
but our friend Andy Paley, right there at the end.
He was?
Yeah.
One of his songs?
No, him and he and his brother in the.
Oh, that's so cool!
And the Heartland chorus filled with a bizarre fucking array of celebrities of the day.
I forgot who produced it. What's that?
It was Robert Stigwood.
Right, and he's the Who guy or the?
No, he was the Bee Gees manager, and he did the soundtracks for Saturday Night Fever and Grease.
Right. Well, here's what I want to tell you too. Once I take myself out of the being that my whole world was the Beatles, right? That's what I was like. As you get outside that world, you realize, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band was not attractive to even me as a thing. I mean, it wasn't like, I wish I could see that band, or
right.
I wish there was a backstory. It was one of my least favorite Beatles things, even though I loved it like everything else they did, because I was, I was on the bus, or whatever you call it. But the idea that you would think that is just fleshed out, is that what it is?
No, I mean, it's just a cocaine jukebox fantasy movie. I mean,
but there's a story in the movie.
There is sort of a story in the movie, and it's basically a silent movie with the exception of George Burns' narration. and covers of Beatles songs of wildly varying quality.
Oh, so some of them are good and some of them are hard.
There's like two truly good covers in the movie. There's Earth, Wind, there's Earth, Wind and Fire doing "Gotta Get You Into My Life," which had a life of its own as a record.
Right, so I never even saw the movie, but I know that one.
And Aerosmith doing "Come Together" is pretty good.
Oh, I like that idea. I mean, I'm not saying.
But there's a scene with Steve Martin as Maxwell with his silver hammer, and he does.
I didn't know there would be people that contemporary in there.
Oh no, it's just this weird disco celebrity fantasy weird fucking thing that you should see.
Yes, I think that I will too.
It manages to denigrate the 60s and the 70s at the same time, which is fantastic.
Oh, that was why can't I'm going to a workshop of what to this weekend.
Yes, I don't think he really is.
And the workshop is what to say when you don't have something to say.
You say, should we go to questions? That's what you do in a podcast.
Okay, so you got questions?
It's time for questions. What do you want to know? We love your questions so much. It's half our show. Half our show.
Seth Dick III says, Mama Dick III was mildly amused when a J6 pardonee was summarily shot and killed for messing with a cop at a traffic stop. She hopes the rest leave the planet in similarly violent ways. Mama D is worked up, he says parenthetically. Will Andy be working again with pal Jay Johnston now that he's pounding the pavement?
I'm already writing a two-man show with him. It's called The Nazi and His Friend Who's Disgusted by It. What was the first part of that thing again?
I actually think there is a show to be had there.
The wars, the eye couple at their throats. What was the first part of the thing he said?
He was talking about the J6 pardonee that got shot by a car.
Oh yeah. The thing is that what he's doing there is the classic. He's not directly saying it. He's a fictional character that he's created. Wishes this
right.
So if this is a note to
take a note.
Take a note. Yeah, me too. Take a note. Yeah. Now you can say I'm not making fun of the event.
My wife, Fangala. Dan Wade says, hey guys, apropos of all the dog talk last week, have you seen Inside the Mind of a Dog? It's a gentle, if unambitious, dog documentary narrated by Rob Lowe. Thanks for all you do. I think you
did see it, didn't you?
I did see it. I think they made it.
Did you know it was Rob Lowe hosted?
Of course.
Wow.
How do you not know that sexy voice? I did watch it, and it is gentle, but I enjoyed it because it's dogs. And I know it was that I enjoyed it because it was dogs, because I tried to watch the cat version, and I was like, it's cats.
And it's like the whole thing is, look at that face. What do you think they're really thinking? That's what it was an hour of.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, so what do they all they think about is getting a mouse or batting something.
Right.
That's it?
Yeah, I didn't watch the cat one, like I said.
Oh, I will.
Dan Crimpool, or Crimpoo1, says, can you get Todd Glass to do a visit?
Oh, I would love that. It's up to you. I mean, you're always the deal breaker.
Right.
You're not the deal breaker. But he does he's one of my favorite people to do a thing with.
People love when you two are together. It's the me part I'm trying to.
Well, that's why you have to filter it through the. You have to play it through the. Okay. Well, okay. Then I say no. Maybe Todd Glass and I should do something with Todd Glass. Maybe.
I think you guys could do an hour on your own.
That's right. That's a good point. And I did not go. I think he stopped doing his podcast, but I was very COVID phobic for a couple of years there.
Yeah. But I'd be happy to have him on.
Oh, okay.
I don't have any beef or anything.
Yeah.
I
so
just know that
yeah.
your guys' dynamic is sort of set, and there's not necessarily a place for a third.
Okay, I'm going to contact him. I hope he's available. That's a joke based on the fact that he's not world famous, right? And or that he's not. Don't
Working.
worry. Don't worry, I can get him. Joke. Which I've just, as I'm getting older, maybe it's an aging thing. I'm starting to realize how bad these jokes are earlier.
Oh, that's good.
Let's stop them. That
Sure.
way.
Yeah. No,
Thank
I
you.
mean, you do it in steps, but.
Back to you in the studio, Josh.
Thanks, Andy. RSDIV says, I'm over a year behind on episodes, and it is always a joy to get to listen to the two of you speak about, quote, simpler times. Josh, do you have any good untold stories about any of the geeks of Freaks and Geeks? Has Andy had run-ins with the geeks? I look forward to hearing the answer in 2026 or 2027. They're very behind.
I didn't get that joke until you reinforced it there at the end.
Uh-huh.
Well, you've talked, but you haven't talked a lot about it. Like, you haven't said, like, people would want to know, was that guy weird? Who's that guy? Who's
Martin Starr?
No, not Martin Starr. The kind of he's kind of like an asshole. The big guy who came from that.
Seth
thing.
Rogen?
No.
Jason
the guy,
Segel?
Not Jason Segel. No, he's kind of he's the guy.
James Franco?
Yes. Yeah. He's. I mean,
So
I'm
not
not
big
saying
in not big in actual physical stature. You weren't saying.
No, but he's a. I mean, I have mixed feelings about him, and he's.
Well, I think that's
being kind of
warranted
an
at this
asshole.
point. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, but not those other people. No, those people were the. Yes, I want.
By the way,
to reveal Sam.
By the way,
Levine.
Andy, you never have mixed feelings.
It has. So, would you say then that they're extreme opinions that come out in a succession? It's like a wavelength.
Yes. Arch opinions, perhaps.
Yeah. Well, no,
I don't have a lot of. I mean, the three geek kids were all sort of different. I mean, they got along, but they were all in different situations. Like John Daly was actually like 14,
right.
and then Sam Levine was like, was like me, the sort of adult kid who was already a comic and acted like a Borscht Belt comic at age 17 and 18.
Did you come up with that character?
No,
Everybody came up with that.
no. I mean, basically, he was that character to some extent.
Right. Yes.
All of them. I mean, once everyone got cast, that's what we wrote for, was those actors. And Martin was 17, or it was 17, I think. So some of them had to go to school. Some of them turned 18. It was
wow.
It was a different dynamic with each of them. And I remember, like, John Daly's dad was there all the time, who was also an actor, and Sam Levine's parents were there for the first few months, and then he turned 18, and they went back to New Jersey. And
Who's that? Who did you say the second one?
Sam Levine.
Oh, and the name before them. Who was his father's name?
I can't remember.
It's not Bill Daly or.
No.
Why is I derailed it again?
I don't know why you had.
Why did you do it?
You think if I wasn't someone notable, I wouldn't have said it?
No, I think you can. At least we can go. What is this type of behavior? This is attention-getting, needy behavior in general.
You just
it's
have.
Not aimed
you
at
have
you.
to.
It's not aimed at you.
Right. No, I know. It was
still annoying.
desperation about a story that had nothing to do with you.
I know all those names. Well, also you love the lead lady in that thing. I forgot her name now. The lead lady.
Linda Cardellini.
Yeah, she was great. Everybody was great in that show. Everybody was.
They really were. They really were a great cast.
And I followed a couple of those people did other things later. I mean, they all did things later.
Many were very successful, yes.
Yeah, whatever happened to you and me?
Those are the exceptions. Oh, wait, you weren't there. See, once again,
right.
you tried to attach yourself.
I'll never forget when I I really feel. I'm not saying I'm the inspiration for Freaks and Geeks, or that it's based on me, or that it was my idea, because those things wouldn't be true.
Jewel, Juul, of the Nile says, former Thought Spiral contributor, longtime caller / first-time listener. What? I haven't caught up much of the happenings in TS land these last 4 or so years. Why are so many people who don't listen to the show anymore asking questions now?
Because the other people are either in homes.
Is Andy handling current events all right? Is Tweet Bahara still active on here? Are people still requesting Joseph Mengele impressions? Paul Lind?
Nope. No, those two are not requested. We have to be honest.
That's very disappointing.
Well, Mengele, I think, is really tied to that movie, which I
both
think,
of them hate the Jews.
I wish people could see how much you had to shake your head as part of this bit.
Paul,
the impression.
It's called living it, man. Fwit Coswitko says, hey, long-time listener, first-time glistener. I am almost caught up from TS1 and have to echo several others that your pod is one of my favorite things in this baby shambles of a world. Please, please, please keep going up to and including Spike's move into the home. Much love and appreciation.
Thank you so much, and I promise, we can't talk about this, but there's behind-the-scenes movement, early dementia,
of you to the home.
Going on now.
Yeah.
So, I am looking at places called that are senior living, El Dorado, a senior living community.
Anything with acres in the name.
I know, but I thought that was
shady.
I thought that was too hacky.
Or sundown.
Well, I'm in the what? Sanitarium.
Tweet Bahara says, Josh, you nailed it with Trump last week. He knows down deep how stupid he is. That's where the swagger comes from. It's cover. True that. Do you think he has the ability to have a moment-to-moment personality to even go, okay, where am I now? I don't know if he has that. Well, I mean, like yesterday when the plane crash happened and he had to, be a...
Whose fault was it? Which Democrat did that?
Well, it was Biden's and DEI's fault.
It was Biden and who?
DEI.
I'm so sick of this DEI building helicopters and things.
I can't fill you in on the news. Never mind.
Okay. It's not even depressing because I'm not watching it. Of course, the events are depressing.
Yeah. But my point was, I think what happened was he saw that the news cycle was going to be about this plane crash and therefore had to inject himself into it.
That's exactly what it is. What hell? Right. So isn't that easily defeated in one of these? I'm not saying he's kidnapped movies, but one of these spy movies where we trip him up? He's so easily enticed.
Yeah.
Trip him up into doing something illegal.
But he's immune.
I know.
BD West says, guys, Drew Barrymore immediately put into production a Hollywood Squares reboot and inexplicably placed herself in the center square after listening to the pod in early November. What a waste. Should have been you guys. The good news? Drew's a Thought Spiral fan?
Wait a second now. I've seen a celebrity. I've seen a celebrity. What's it called again?
Hollywood Squares.
Hollywood Squares. I've seen it with guy Nate Burleson. If I'm getting his name right, I think I'm getting his name wrong. I've seen it with other people, not by Drew Barrymore. Oh, she's in the center square
and produces it.
Oh, I see. And it is that guy Nate who's hosting it. Of course, she would put herself on the center square. You would think a lot of people go, well, why does she do the work? Why isn't she out there doing the quiz master, quiz? I hate all those words. Quiz person.
Well said.
I stopped.
Well said.
Well said.
Stephen L. Yates says a football game takes 3 hours to play, has a 60-minute clock, but contains only 11 minutes of action from snap to whistle. Josh, when you do the DVR fast forward method, how long does it take to watch a game? Andy, would you like to have dinner with Aaron Rodgers?
No, I think I would not like to have dinner with him. On a certain level, I would, but then I think I would just, I've seen enough of him. He's not so much an enigma to me now. I don't have so much a desire to eat with him now after seeing him through 3 segments of that.
Right. In answer to your question, Stephen, about fast forwarding, it probably gets into about a 2-hour window.
Wow, that's really generous.
Because I can start an hour late.
Yes, and start watching.
And I can catch up before the end of the game. So I never wait until the game is over to do this.
Well, that's very diligent.
Usually I'll catch up in the latter half part of the game, and then I'm screwed and commercialized. But in general, especially with football, it's the only way I can keep my attention going is if I go play to play and do the DVR thing.
I guess want people to understand that when Josh says he's commercialized, he doesn't mean it in the 60s sense of he's making himself commercial. He's saying they're just adding commercials at the end.
I hope they understood that.
Well, I thought... The thing is, something inside me goes, hey, why don't you make a comment? Here's what happens to me. Hey, Andy, you saw a show. Don't forget to tell Josh you saw it and make it... And that's always funny. Okay, I'm sorry. Pass.
Stephen Chaotic Neutral says, hey, guys, I try not to focus on my own personal grudge. Could you breathe louder? Hey guys, I try not to focus on my own personal gripes, but if they eliminate the whole switching our clocks twice a year thing, living under a fascist dictatorship might be worth it.
Is he saying that he would trade a fascist dictatorship for getting rid of the daylight savings time thing?
Yeah, yes, that's what.
Okay, I'm with him on that one.
At least they have some stakes.
Well, the thing is, we already have a fascist dictatorship. If you're saying to me, am I in favor of this fascist dictatorship doing something I agree with, which I'm not sure if I do agree with it, but I think I do agree with it, getting rid of this daylight savings time, I'm in.
Hey, I'd like to set the clocks ahead 4 years, if you know what I mean.
Look, I just want to say, and Josh, both of us would like to say, in these next 4 years, we have to work with this president.
J. Matthew Keene says, oh my God, I haven't laughed as hard in weeks as I laughed at, I figured out my problem with the curly shuffle. Eagerly awaiting next week's revelation about Pac-Man fever. By the way, they still call me Boopsy. I
love that they still call me Boopsy. What, am I drunk now?
It sounds like it.
No, this is me on the Friday of a week where I've been, indulging on Thursday, Wednesday, and Tuesday.
Ah, I see.
I did not go out there before the show.
Tincture, gummy.
You know what I do in the morning? I take my wake-up tincture. Open my eyes tincture.
And your toothbrushing gummy.
Tincture. My toothbrush gummy. I chew the gummy. It is candy, but then brush your teeth with it anyway. Make yourself happy. I'm sorry.
Stephen L. Yates is back to say, when I was at UConn, broadcast TV would show only 1 or 2 football games on Sunday. One was always the terrible pre-Parcells Giants. Is it wrong that I still hate the Giants 40-plus years later? No, it's not wrong.
No. I just got distracted by my doctor saying, yeah, your video visit starting. So now I did not remember if this is about the New York Giants football team.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay, thanks. But you know what? I just decided I'm so much of an empath. It looks like I have narcissistic personality disorder. I'm so much care about you. I care about you more than what you're saying or what you're doing, Josh.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Or something.
Like that.
We're moving on to the gram, so buckle up.
Buckle up, buckle.
Neon Tooth says, hey guys, defend your classic condiments. I'm 100% savory and mustard through and through. I find ketchup way too sweet, but okay, only very light usage for fries. Mayonnaise is a horror that should only be used very sparingly on a BLT. I send you my best wishes, and I'm happy that you got through the fires unscathed. Well, thank you.
Well, I just also thank you very much for saying that. And also, I just want to say that our condiment choices are available on the Thought Spiral link tree. Do you like that?
Yeah.
Do you know what link tree is?
I do know what a link tree is. Yeah.
So it's funny.
Yeah.
Good.
I have. It's every condiment has a place. I believe. Ketchup and fries, sure. Ketchup and hot
Absolutely.
dogs, no.
Ketchup and what?
Hot dogs, no.
Ketchup and steak?
No. Ketchup and eggs, weird, but up to you.
Yeah, you can do that if you want. Then you're into Tabasco.
Mayo, I kind of like. I like mayo. I like ketchup and mayo mixed together to make Russian.
I like mayo, except it was used too much on the horrible food in my grade school that I had to eat. So you'd have like a sandwich that had a piece of cheese and like an inch.
Yeah, that's
and so that made me sick.
They were putting it on with like a putty knife.
Yeah.
Delicious Mick says, Uncle Josh, kudos for last week's read. No stammers, no fumbles, just perfect enunciation and execution. Keep the streak alive. Oh, and Andy, good job on not interrupting. I'm not going to scrub through episode 386, but I'm pretty sure Josh went verbatim on my ass, hence the smug vindication. Andy, I don't hate you. I listen to this podcast because you are on it. I love you, buddy. I was just a bit crestfallen when I discovered your unhinged perspective on comedians, intellectuals, and politicians that I admire and respect. In a way, you're the hero I met. But we're all good. No vendetta. Hey, Josh, do you mind playing that clip of Dateline Guy interviewing Buffalo Bill? Love the show, love the host. Andy, unblock me. That's a lot.
Was that Mark David Chapman?
For all intents and purposes.
Yeah, I don't get why he seems to compliment you and then he seems to insult you or something. He seemed to compliment you then say something about you being vindictive.
No, I don't think there was.
That was all me.
Yeah.
The backhand is applied. You know what? I enjoy his backhand. He has a traditional backhand.
I get the gentle front of hand caress, and you get the backhand.
Yes. Well done. Well played.
Catherine, 7234, points out something that occurred to me as well. Saw Complete Unknown recently and noticed a strong similarity with Andy's song Karen and Dylan's It Ain't Me, Babe. What's up with that? Love the pod.
Don't bring that up, Josh. Don't call me Karen. No. It's not me, Karen. It's not me you're looking for, Karen.
Well, you know what? That's how Dylan started, too, was by fucking aping people. So,
Karen.
Daisy Petunia says, hey, Andy, I've got a question that I'm sure you've never been asked before. What's your take on smoking CBD? Is it just a way to feel like you're doing something healthy while you actually get absolutely no high at all? Or is it the I'm just doing this for the taste approach?
Well, I'm not an expert, but I do believe what people have, all the pot places have said is like CBD won't do anything for you unless you have some THC involved with it, unless you just want it for a lotion or something. What activates it is the THC. I'm not saying this isn't coming from me; it's coming from the people in the biz. So those stores that were CBD stores, they're kind of useless,
right?
In a way.
But conversely, the CBD cancels the psychotropic effects of THC.
That I didn't know, but does it end up in relaxation or something?
I guess it does.
Is that the idea?
Know. It's not. I don't factor in the CBD very much.
No, I don't factor into it that much.
I don't go looking for it. If it's there, fine. Come along for the ride, I say.
Well, I found CBN to be good for sleep.
Yeah,
and THCA. So you get my. Can I plug my newsletter? Hi, it's called Hi.
Hi. H-I-G-H. Hi.
Oh, I really am proud of myself for that one. Hi.
Daniel Bird Doctor says, well, that's it, lads. Test show 143, February 3rd, 2020. The first mention of COVID. Somebody jokingly wrote in asking if Andy had contracted the coronavirus yet, and thus the end of my listening through old episodes. I have no desire to relive any of that.
Just go past it.
Now I'm limited to new episodes on Mondays, and sad about it. Thanks again for the laughs and the para company during the hard time last year when I first started listening, and long live Thought Spiral.
Well, I agree with that, but I'm saying to you, this is the way I'm with podcasts. I can't listen. I'll never listen to it. But if you did say, hey, I'm just going to go, not even to the end of you don't want to go to when COVID ended, but maybe, I just got my arrogance or whatever it is that that he should have to see. Desperation is what it is.
Zeke Foss?
Because I'm thinking he has to see it.
Right.
He's going to get hit, but it's not true.
Yeah, don't miss out on that hidden gold is what you're trying to say. And
yeah,
it doesn't hold up.
It doesn't.
Zeke Fossey says, hey, fuckface. The Paul F. Thompson.
He's nicer than Delicious Mick, right?
It's weird. We'll see.
Okay.
Hey, fuckface. Paul F. Tompkins mentioned you on a podcast this week and some backstage antics at UCB that I can't begin to properly explain. But seriously, Andy, please unblock me so I can watch your Instagram show with the Marlboro Woman. Thanks.
I'm sure the Marlboro Woman would be happy to know that you are referring to her as the Marlboro Woman. These people, are they running for a least popular fellas contest?
And finally tonight, Eastside76 says, since the election, I've given up on the news. I can't handle it. It's too much for my fragile little mind. How healthy is it to shut out news about that fuckhead Trump? I don't need to be informed, do I? I don't need to be informed, do I? If I jump back in, I'll turn into a rage monster, so I'm trying to keep it chill. My level of difficulty is my wife is a news junkie, and I hear about it anyway. I don't have it in me to shut her out. Holy shit, it got real with me. I don't know what to do with myself. Send help.
Well, Eastside 76, I think I have good guidance for you. Absolutely, you should not watch. Not watching is absolutely what you should do because I can't watch. And every time I try, within 5 minutes, I get fucking steamed. But what you can do is you can allow your don't try and stop your wife from being as upset as she wants to be, which is the name of my autobiography. But
I thought it was why is my wife so upset?
Yeah, but I'm sure she's not saying you have to watch this with me.
No.
And as long as she's not saying you have to watch this with me, I totally say don't watch it. I've been this way since the election. No, I'm not going to miss anything. I kind of glance and see everything mostly.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to miss something that like Andy Kindler replied to Washington for your prize.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm still managing it myself. I found I can't tune out entirely.
Right.
But as soon as Trump comes on, I mute. I really do. I don't want to listen to him fucking talk anymore. I don't want to. No. It is instant rage for me too. But I still, it's like the same reason I don't like putting earphones on. I don't like feeling shut off from the rest of the world.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. You can now. Yeah. It's comparable to that or isolation.
Yeah. So, but I've absolutely changed my habits over the last few weeks in terms of how much and what I default to, and
yeah,
my willingness to just turn away for a while and get the facts without the flavor later.
And I want everybody to know in the coming weeks we're going to switch back to focusing on the COVID crisis again.
Yes.
Can you hang up on me? Oh wait, how do people do the thing? They go to buy me a cup of coffee.
The thing where they support us lovingly at buymeacoffee.com/thoughtspiral.
And a lot of people think that money is going to corporations and things.
Yeah, let's disabuse them of that notion.
Yes. That money goes to
It ain't true, folks.
It goes to our farm club. It pays for the newsletter.
Right.
And I would like to say I'm going to hang up on Josh right now before he gets a chance to
Okay.
hang.
I'm waiting. Hands up. My hands are up. Here I am. Hands are up.
Now, let me get into my that was a tough womb material.